Hey guys, I'm Jessica Vieira from Just Ask Jess. I'm with HR Education Network, and this is a fun little segment where I get to share with you some of the commonly asked questions that come across my desk. And this one, I will tell you, is one that I get almost more than any other. And I've kind of addressed it a little bit in the past, but I'm going to give you some step-by-step, like a little process that I think is going to help many of you. The question here is, how do I ask my employer to pay for my certification or educational opportunities? Okay, so this is a great question, and obviously being in the certification test prep space, a lot of people ask me, like, hey, is this something people pay for? How do I get them to pay for it? So the short answer is yes, a lot of employers actually will pay for your certification or educational ventures, conferences, things of that nature. And a second part of that is, how do I ask my employer, right? This can feel like an awkward question. It can feel like you're asking for something maybe you don't know that people actually are willing to pay for. Maybe you don't know that you deserve it to be paid for. Whatever it is that's holding you back, I totally understand how it can feel weird to ask the question. So because I've been asked this question so many times, I've actually created like a few steps that I think will help you feel prepared and confident to go have that conversation. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is make sure that the educational opportunity you're looking for is the right opportunity for you and for your employer, right? If you expect your employer to put some skin in the game, this has to benefit them in some way as well. So make sure that you are finding an opportunity that helps you and it will help you do your job better. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, understand what you're asking for. Make sure before you go to your employer that you know what the certification is, how much it costs, what is required from you in terms of time, right? How long is this going to take? Is this relatively quick? Is this going to be months? Will it require any sort of maybe time during the day that you need to be working on this, right? Is it a degree program versus a certification? So these are all the things you need to make sure you understand, because when you go and talk to your employer, they're going to ask you all of these things, right? So you want to make sure you know those answers. Step three, do your research. Before you go ask your employer, hey, is this something you paid for? Your employer may have a plan in place. They may already have like a process for getting reimbursement for things of this nature. They may have a certain amount that they already allocate to every employee. So before you just go ask about it, do your research. Make sure that you've looked at all of your manuals, you've talked to your supervisors, and you've asked like, hey, what do we have going on in place for this type of situation? So know that before you go ask, right? Step four, determine the ROI, right? What is the return on investment from your employer's perspective? Is this going to help you do your job better? Why? How is it going to benefit them financially? These are things to make sure you have a good, compelling argument for before you go talk to your employer. And last, sell it. Guys, there is nothing wrong with asking to grow as a professional. In fact, your employer should be thrilled that you want to grow as a professional. So make sure that you go in there, you are confident, you state your case, you have done your research, and then sell it, right? Give them your best sales pitch, explain why it's important and how it's going to help you and them, and you just can't lose. Worst thing they can do is say no, and guess what? If you don't ask the question, they don't have the opportunity to say yes. So make sure you ask. All right, if you guys ever want to talk about this, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to chat on the phone or email about it. And it was great to see you back here at Just Ask Jess.